Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss an important topic of economy, which is Bidenomics. So you all know that world is still recovering from the pandemic phase, and into this circumstances we are witnessing Russia-Ukraine war. We are also witnessing Israel-Palestinian war. So into this circumstances, how Bidenomics will work and how it will impact India, we are going to discuss in today's class. So moving to the points of discussion part. So first of all, we are going to discuss the news, and then we are going to discuss that why it matters. It means that why Bidenomics matters, and then we are going to discuss that what are the rationale behind it, and then we are going to discuss a brief about Bidenomics, and then how much effective it is, and then practice question for prelims and mains. So moving to the news part. So 2024 is going to be a significant year for the whole world. And why it is going to be significant? Because in this year, almost 4 to 5 world economies are going to see and witness its national election, including India also. So who are the countries who are going to witness election this time? So India, UK, US, Russia and European Union. So these are the world's most powerful economies who are going to witness election. And why election is important into this country? Because they alone contribute almost 54% of the world economy, and they contribute around $54 trillion to the world arena. So in this way, it's very important to know that who is going to run this country. And in this US economy and US administration is very much helpful and very much powerful, because it will not impact just US economy, it will impact developing countries like India and also the least developing countries like African countries. So in this scenario, this topic is very important. So we are going to discuss this topic in today's class. So moving to the next slide, that why it matters and what is the rationale behind this Bidenomics. So in this slide we are going to discuss that why it matters. So first of all, it will rupture and it will have a radical shift from the Trumponomics. So Trump have the different kind of economics, and this Bidenomics is a very different from the Trumponomics. So in the Trump administration, we have seen that there is a radical shift and that US has exited from the Paris climate change. So it will revive all those policy. And the second thing is that, Bidenomics is being seen as a blueprint. It means that who else people are seeing it as a blueprint. So majorly it is a labor driven economy. And in 2024, it is expected that UK is also going to see the Labour Party into the rule. So they are also supporting this blueprint, that they want to see it as a blueprint because they want to see changes like this in their economy. So that's why so many economies are considering it as a blueprint for all the world. So in this way it matters, and why Bidenomics matters for the whole world we already have discussed into this slide. So coming to the rationale part. So what is the rationale behind this Bidenomics? So the first rationale is that earlier we have this Reaganomics, Trumponomics, and we have this trickle down effect for the whole America, but this time we are not focusing on the trickle down effect. And what Biden has said about this thing is that what is this trickle down effect? First of all, we will discuss. So trickle down effect is that you are tax cutting and you are promoting the wealthy businessman to give the money and give all the spending the money to all the persons who are beneficiary and who are really needing into this kind of situation. So it means that you are taking many money from the wealthy person and they are spending a lot to the economy, and so that so many people are also taking benefit from that. But sometimes it also sees many kind of problematic thing, and this is a very problematic approach, and many experts and economic historians have said that this will have a different kind of trickle down effect on the poor population, because they have this habit of spending, and when they realize this, that they had grew this habit of spending, then they don't have money. So it will eventually benefit the wealthy population of the world. So in this way, the Trump and the Biden has not approved this trickle down effect, and they had come this that we have to run the economy from middle to the bottom line. It means that they will also care for the middle income population, and they will also care for the bottom income population. So in this way they are looking from the bottom up approach. So in this way this is the rationale behind this Bidenomics, that they are coming from the middle income approach also and the bottom income approach also. So this will be the rationale behind this Bidenomics. And moving to the next slide is about that what is Bidenomics. So first of all, you should be clear about this fact that the Bidenomics has been not used by the Biden himself, not his team. So in general parlance, it is called as Bidenomics because it has been very popularized when Reagan was the president of US. And since that time, that Bidenomics has come to this popularized because that time we have this term Reaganomics, and last time we have this term of Trumponomics, and this time we have this term of Bidenomics. So in this way, this term has been popularized, and in general parlance, it is understood that whatever the economic policy is introduced by the Biden administration, it is known as the Bidenomics. So what are the approach of Bidenomics? So we have three approaches here, that making smart public investment in America, and the second approach is that empowering and educating workers to grow the middle class, and then third approach is that promoting competition to the lower cost and entrepreneurs and small business thrive. It means that they are looking for two kind of infrastructure. The first is the physical infrastructure, also for the digital infrastructure. And for that, they had also tweaked their tax policies, and they had looked for the middle income approach and also for the bottom up approach. And they are very labor oriented, and they had done various amendments into their labor organization, into their labor laws. So in this way, this is the basic philosophy of the Bidenomics. So moving to the next slide is about how much effective it is. So it's very important that how much effective it is. That this term is sounding very fancy because it is safeguarding the labor rights, but we have to see that how effective it is. So in the macro approach, we will discuss this thing. So we have this macro approach, that GDP, unemployment and inflation. So these are the criteria to look for any economy, that economy is running into a good condition or not. So till now, what we have observed that economy is running into a good position, and we have not observed that it will raise so much of inflation, it will create more gap between rich and poor. So till now, it's performing very well. So we will look for the data, that what are the data we have. So in terms of the growth level, so we have seen that the growth level is just 1.4. So in the pandemic times, we have seen that many economies have been shrink, and including India also. And according to the RBI calculation, India will reach to the pre-pandemic level by 2035. But in terms of US, it will reach soon. So in this way, it is growing very fast, and the economy is growing very fast in this circulation. So that's why this Bidenomics is working. So moving to the next slide is about that what is the unemployment rate. So the unemployment rate is also improving into this country, and we have seen that in almost 70 years, the women has seen that lowest unemployment rate. And other diaspora which is working in America and which is still in American. So the other Americans like African American, Hispanic Americans, so they are also improving very well in terms of unemployment. It means that unemployment rate has been shrinking. And we have this data also that earlier in the pre-pandemic phase, we can see that it has risen, but right now we can see that it is showing that we can see the shift here, but what we are seeing that it is shrinking day by day. It means that it is showing the positive result into this. So moving to the next slide is about inflation. So the only drawback about Bidenomics is that it is not improving much in terms of inflation, and they have given reason for it, that Russia-Ukraine war, because so many European countries and so many US population is also dependent on the Russian thing and Ukraine thing. And because of this Russia-Ukraine war, the supply side has been impacted a lot in the US. And that's why the inflation rate is not stable in the US. And because of this, the inflation rate is just high, and they are not able to reach their target level, which is 2%. And the data shows that, inflation is shrinking day by day. So this thing is very important for the Bidenomics. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that why people are unhappy with Bidenomics. So there are various critiques of Bidenomics also. So many people are not happy with Bidenomics, and there are two reasons for it. The first reason is that, it improves the that they will reduce the inequality, but it is not able to reach the inequality kind of situation. It means that they are advocating that they will reduce the inequality in the US, but last time we have seen, and in many countries we have seen that inequality has been not reduced. The wealthy persons are getting wealthier day by day, and the poor persons are getting poorer day by day. So this is one of the drawbacks of the Bidenomics. The second is the war on the ideological front. So many people are not approving the Bidenomics on the ideological front, because they are saying that, it may sounding very good and poetic, but in actual level it is not working very positive, and it has approached this policy of the middle income and the bottom income, but it has highly focused on the bottom income approach. It has neglected the middle income population. So in this way, this is one of the drawbacks of the Bidenomics. On the other hand, it has safeguarded the labor rights, but we have hardly seen that, so many labor organizations are getting benefit from it, and they have this policy of that they are promoting their domestic infrastructure, their domestic companies, and they are also focusing on the clean energy. They are also focusing on the climate change. And in order to promote the domestic companies, they are giving subsidy benefits to the domestic companies, which may be not best in the clean energy area. So in this way, they are also hurting the good companies. So in this way, it will also impact the other nations who want to invest in the US. On the other hand, they had this anti-China policy. So in terms of the anti-China policy, they had raised the import rates. So this is not just impacting the China, this is also impacting the other nations, especially the poorer nations. So in this way, the Bidenomics is not working well. So these are the drawbacks of the Bidenomics we have seen. And on the other hand, we have also seen that, this Bidenomics will prompt developed countries that they will also follow the policy like America. And maybe India will also follow the policy like America, but it will also impact the poorer nations who are not able to afford these kind of the Bidenomics. So these are the drawbacks of the Bidenomics. So moving to the question part. So this is a practice question, because we have discussed a lot about various economic terms. So this slide is about the inflation, and today's first statement is, it is the general rise in the price level of goods and services, and the second statement is, in this purchasing power of the customers decreases. Here you have to give not correct answer. So kindly comment. Moving to the mains part. So the mains question is, what is Bidenomics? Can it become a global model? So first of all, you have to describe the term Bidenomics, and as I have already told you that this term has been not given by the Biden himself and nor his team. It is in general parlance, it is called as Bidenomics, and whatever the economic policies has been driven by the Biden administration, it is called as Bidenomics. So you should not confuse with this term. And then you have to give the, what are the basic aim of the Bidenomics. They are very labor oriented kind, and they want to create physical and digital infrastructure, and they are also tweaking the tax rates. They are against this trickle down approach economy. So in this way, these are the basic principle of this Bidenomics. Coming to that, can it become a global model? So we have discussed about the positive things about Bidenomics and also the negative things about the Bidenomics. So you have to analyze your answer into that way, that it can be for the developed nation, it can be a model, but for the developing nation and especially for the poorer nation, it cannot be a model, because they cannot afford, and their circumstances, economic criteria, social criteria are very different from the American criteria. So in that way, it cannot be a model for the poorer nations, because in order to provide the domestic infrastructure, the poorer nations cannot afford to promote the domestic infrastructure. They need investment, they need FDI into their countries. So in that sense, it is not much helpful for the poorer nation. So this will be your answer. So I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.